The community right now, because it's based on, it's centered around the platforms organization, so which is where the long-standing product teams are.
Yeah.
So the majority of people are designers working in product teams. But as I said, it's open to everyone. So we also have people from the business side who are doing, product exploration. They're also part of it because they're seeing themselves designers. They are service design mostly. We have people from customer insights who are interested. We have product owners, but yes, and there's probably most of the designers are coming from long-standing product teams, and that's probably indicative of where the designers are. So there could be designers elsewhere. I don't think there are many, but that's just the way the organization is set up. So yeah, but I say it's important to point out that it is open for everyone. So if there is a designer working on marketing stuff, they're also welcome to come and give some input or.
And are you like, what are you sharing in this community? Because I could imagine, of course, like if you've been out conducting a test and you'll share the results, and if you have had new things coming to the design system, you might go in there and have this governance around the system in there as well. But do you have any, like for instance, guidelines, or if for instance a product owner approaches you and say, okay, I would actually like to perform some user interviews, do you have some materials or some guidelines I can follow?
Yeah, so some of that is what we're working at the moment. So we're there's a lot of small working groups kind of being spun up inside the community now to look at things like interview guides. So how do you do research? How do you contact customers? We're doing that in collaboration with our customer insights team. So how do you actually set up user tests? So we can't just go out and randomly ask people on the street, because they have to be people who are shipping stuff. So as part of that, there's stuff about hiring. How do you interview people who are coming in? What does the design interview look like? What does onboarding look like? So all the elements that are kind of relevant to designers specifically. And some of the work we're doing, a lot of the work we're doing at the moment is around career paths. So I mentioned the idea that we now have these individual contributors up to a much higher level than we had before. We're helping to define what the expectations are of a lead or a senior or a principal or a distinguished designer. What does that actually mean? Not just the skills that are involved, but what behaviors do we expect from that sort of person? We're looking at training, putting together a curriculum of things that we'd like to be better at, or things where we could give training to other people. So there's a load of small kind of initiatives kicking off inside the company, inside the community. But I think that's where the real strength of the community is, because there's no one saying, I want this done. I can come with suggestions, and like I say, I can help to organize it a little bit, but it's not me deciding. It's people. So we just before Christmas we had an online conference where we had kind of 5 or 6 guest speakers in talking about motivation. And design, and how do you motivate? What's the role of motivation in design? And that was just set up by 2 of the designers in here. Massive success. A lot of workshops after. It was really cool, and that just came from an idea that came from one of the community meetings where we could feel that people were a bit kind of disengaged a little bit. I said, well, okay, how might we
do something?
Might we approach that? And think, well, we could try with a conference. Let's go for it.
Yeah.